Then Obama said that Trump hasn't grown into the job, and then he blames Trump for 170,000 dead people. This is really, really scurrilous stuff. Again, the line that Democrats are using that Trump is responsible for the number of dead, when, again, the vast bulk of the dead in the United States are in states run by Democrats. And when it is clear that no one has a good solution to COVID, is really despicable. Here's Barack Obama being despicable.
Donald Trump hasn't grown into the job because he can't. And the consequences of that failure are severe. 170,000 Americans dead. Millions of jobs gone, while those at the top take in more than ever. Our worst impulses unleashed. Our proud reputation around the world badly diminished.
Okay, this stuff is crap. Okay, this is where he really gets demagogic. This is demagogic stuff. Right? Saying that Trump is responsible for 170,000 deaths is crap. Him saying that our worst impulses were only unleashed under Donald Trump. At no point in the speech, by the way, does he actually decry the riots happening in major American cities, many of them driven by a media that hates Trump and mayors that hate Trump as well. In fact, not only does Barack Obama not decry that, at a certain point, he actually paid tribute to it. Right? He just pretends that everybody's protesting. There hasn't been a riot anywhere. Obama said about the protesters, "You are the nation's dream fulfilled." Really, I mean, you can make the case that protesting and it is true that protesting is a major part of American tradition. It is not true that rioting and looting ought to be a major part of American tradition, and failing to make any distinction or even to note that that stuff is happening for 3 straight nights of the DNC is pretty incredible. Next week, the RNC should, on a loop, show what's been happening around the country in terms of the violence, the chaos, the rioting, and the looting that's been promulgated by Democrats, excused by the media. Here's Barack Obama pretending that the only thing that's been happening in the United States is some nice low-level protest.
To the young people who led us this summer, telling us we need to be better, in so many ways, you are this country's dreams fulfilled. Earlier generations had to be persuaded that everyone has equal worth. For you, it's a given, a conviction. And what I want you to know is that for all its messiness and frustrations, your system of self-government can be harnessed to help you realize those convictions.
Okay, this is the inside-outside game that Democrats have been playing for quite a while here, which is that, sure, the system is great when we run it. When we don't run it, we need you out in the streets. We need you out in the streets, and we need you not only protesting, but we'll excuse your rioting, and we'll excuse your looting, and we'll excuse the violence, and we'll excuse the messiness, we'll excuse the chaos, because we don't run the government. But when we're in power, you need to calm it down, guys, because then we got this thing. And this is the inside-outside game Democrats are playing. Okay, but Obama didn't stop there. So Obama then suggested that Trump doesn't believe in American principles. Now, again, how Barack Obama defines American principles has been a long-standing question. And this is a real question. Like, what are America's founding principles? What are the creedal principles that unite us? I mean, I wrote an entire book about this. How to Destroy America in 3 Easy Steps is about what are the principles that ought to unite us. Barack Obama disagrees with many of the founding principles. The idea of natural rights pre-existing government. He does not believe this. He does not believe that government ought to be limited to protect those rights. He does not believe in checks and balances. He doesn't believe in any of those things. He believes in a culture that prizes entitlement, in a culture that disdains social institutions in favor of governmental institutions. He doesn't believe in a lot of foundational American ideals. That's not unique to Barack Obama, right? That is a hallmark of the progressive movement since the beginning of the 20th century. But here is Donald Trump suggesting that Trump doesn't, this is Obama suggesting Trump doesn't believe in American principles, while standing in front of a sign about the Constitution of the United States. Here is Captain Pen and a phone.
Our ability to work together to solve big problems like a pandemic depend on a fidelity to facts and science and logic, and not just making stuff up. None of this should be controversial. These shouldn't be Republican principles or Democratic principles. They are American principles. But at this moment, this president and those who enable him have shown they don't believe in these things.
Okay, so American principles, according to Barack Obama, are things like science and fact, and also men and women don't exist, and babies in the womb are not actually babies. They're just clusters of cells. So that's always exciting stuff to hear from President Obama. He also went after President Obama for using what he called troops as political props. Again, he's focusing in on the Lafayette Park incident in which the National Park Service cleared the park before Trump walked out to do this photo op at St. John's Church. Again, it's unclear from the reports whether these protesters were throwing objects at the cops. The Park Service says yes. Many of the protesters in the media say no. In any case, hearing Barack, like the hypocrisy here is astonishing. Hearing Barack Obama talking about using troops as political props, Barack Obama literally went in front of, at a military base, in front of a group of troops and said, you guys make a great photo op. I'm not kidding. That's a thing he actually said in real life. But here he was saying, like, you can't use troops as props. I wouldn't use troops as props except when I do. Here's Barack Obama.
They understand that in this democracy, the commander-in-chief does not use the men and women of our military who are willing to risk everything to protect our nation as political props to deploy against peaceful protesters on our own soil.
Yeah, again, Barack Obama routinely did this kind of thing. He stood before troops and said, this is a direct quote, you guys make a pretty good photo op. So, sure. Okay, and then Obama concluded by saying that this administration is tearing down democracy. Again, this is coming from the guy who launched war in Libya without congressional authorization, who explicitly said that he could not simply avoid the implementation of immigration law and then just did it. This is coming from the same guy who sicked his IRS on conservative 501c3s, but had plausible deniability. This is the same guy who routinely engaged in activities that violated the long-standing norms of the Constitution. He is now calling for, by the way, for the end of the Senate filibuster, which he calls racist, when 5 minutes ago he said that it was actually a tool for democracy. This guy has no fidelity to institutional not only norms, but to the actual institutions of the United States if they stand as an obstacle to his broader progressive mission. And yet here he is saying the administration is going to tear down democracy.
You're the missing ingredient. The ones who will decide whether or not America becomes the country that fully lives up to its creed. That work will continue long after this election. But any chance of success depends entirely on the outcome of this election. This administration has shown it will tear our democracy down if that's what it takes for them to win. So we have to get busy.
Okay, so what he's saying right now is so wildly dangerous. Him saying that basically the fascists are at the gates, and if we lose this election, then the country is over, is extraordinarily dangerous. Really, really dangerous. If Joe Biden wins this election, the country is not over. It means that a real setback for a lot of the things I care about, not just politically, but philosophically. Because I think the Democratic Party is enthralled to the 1619 Project crowd. But I don't believe that America's electoral institutions are over if the Democrats win. Barack Obama is literally saying that. Okay, I'm old enough to remember, because again, I'm more than 30 seconds old, when the media were saying Donald Trump is undermining the results of an election that's bad. Democrats have been doing it consistently for years, and Barack Obama just did it last night. And that is scary stuff. Okay, so Obama gives this speech, and the media are just gushing over it. Ryan Lizza, a reporter for Politico, he actually tweeted out, this is a direct quote from Twitter. So much journalism in, guys. I mean, the journalism was just getting everywhere. It got real sticky and messy, the journalism. He tweeted out, Barack Obama just delivered the finest convention speech in modern history. Again, spellbinding, chilling, optimistic, beautifully written, expertly delivered, incredible moment. And then he had to sleep it off for a little while. Ryan Lizza. That guy's the White House reporter for Politico. Don't worry. The media are even-handed. They show neither fear nor favor. Rachel Maddow was very exorbitantly excited about this as well. She said, Obama slayed her. Slayed her. Slay, Obama, slay.
President Obama's speech tonight slayed me. I'm sure people have different opinions about it because it's a different kind of thing from him. But his warnings that we could potentially be at the end of American democracy scared me, and I found upsetting and hard to watch. But just powerful. Powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff. So, again, when Democrats say we're at the end of American democracy, powerful stuff. When Donald Trump suggests that the Democrats want to ruin American democracy, terrible stuff. How about it's just not great all around when you suggest that the other side is going to end the democracy of the United States without any evidence that this is the case? Amazing. Well done, media. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Ben Shapiro Show. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all of our future content.